All right, so when you're logged into Google, there's the 9 little dots that are next to your profile picture, or it might be just be a letter. But if you click there, click on YouTube, it'll take you right into your YouTube. Hi, good morning. So the reason why we're using YouTube is we need a host to host your video for your landing page. So once you're in YouTube, you just go to create, and you can do this on your phone or the computer. You hit plus, and you can click upload video. Now the teleprompter is really good if you want to do something scripted, but it's not necessary. If you wanted to just open up the YouTube app on your phone at an open house and just freely go, hey, you know, do your demonstration, you're welcome to do that too. And it'll already be hosted in YouTube, so it saves you the step of using the other app. But if you do have scripts, the Teleprompter app works really well to, you know, keep you on point and have more of a professional, you know, clean video. So same thing on here, on your computer or your phone, you're going to select your files. There's probably no videos on here, but we'll just pretend. Guess we better find one. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a video real quick. Oh, wow, nice. I can't stream for 24 hours. I'm not sure why that happened. Fun stuff. Okay. Show you a little trick if you ever wanted to download a video from YouTube. Let's see. Really good stuff on today. Let's grab this one. So I'm going to grab this link, go into, oops. Nice. I don't need an ISO. Go create, upload video. Files. Give me a disk image. Okay, let's try another route. All right. So go to select files, locate your video. So we use Tammy's video here. Right here, you're going to put your title. So, for this, we're going to do market report. Put a description. You know, you can take the stock text from the page and then also put in your name, license number, contact information. Lastly, you can upload a thumbnail. You could use a screenshot of your landing page, or you could just leave it where it lands. It usually finds a good spot where you don't look, you're not like, it'll pick it'll good. And if it doesn't, you can always go in there and choose something. Like obviously we wouldn't go with this one because she looks like she's going, ah. So maybe this one or maybe that one. If you have playlists, you can put them. I have some playlists. in here. So you could create new playlists, you could say landing pages. It's all for your own organization. Next one is just, it's part of a protection act. You would say, no, it's not for kids. And this is your link right here. So later on in the lesson, we're going to go back to the landing page. It's going to ask for a YouTube ID. Your YouTube ID is this section after the .be. So it's ch4, whatever it turns out to be. This is your YouTube ID that you're going to use to populate your landing page with your video. It's already been uploaded, so I'm going to go next. Add an end screen. You could hit add. And what this will do is, if you have more than one video, at the end of the YouTube video, it'll have like, subscribe here, watch these videos. So it gives you the opportunity to, instead of the next video going over to a competing agent, which is quite likely, you can have them go to your video, another video, to subscribe. I think there's a couple other choices here. Yeah, one video, you can just have two videos. And then if you want to get fancy and have a playlist, you could do that as well. So we're just, for simplicity's sake, I'm going to pick one video, one subscribe. So this will automatically subscribe to your YouTube channel. And then you could click on the video and you could pick a specific video. So let's just pick this one. And then you can move this around on the page. So you don't want it to block your face. So I'm going to put this over here. Once you're done, go ahead and hit save. It's best to do this when you first upload it. You can go back in and do it later. It does a copyright check to make sure you don't have any copyrighted music. So if you add music to your video, make sure it's open source. So YouTube has a music library that you can pull from. There's also other music you can get from the web. But if you use like your favorite pop hit, what'll happen is it'll remove the music. Most of the time. Sometimes they'll let it play for a certain duration. And then lastly, you want to make it public unless you have a reason to have it unlisted. For instance, the video channel where we all have our Tech Tuesday, that's a hidden unlisted channel that you have to give the link to have anybody access it. But other than that, anything you do for promotion, you want to make it public because you want the most exposure possible. So we have that done. If you wanted to schedule it, like if you were going to do like a big open house or an event or something, you can set it up, schedule it in advance, or you could do an instant premiere, which will give it a little boost in reaching the public. So lastly, we're going to hit publish. And again, this is our video link. And the last part right here, CH4ECQZEYOQ, you have to remember that. No, I'm kidding. That's going to be your YouTube ID, and we're going to use that later on the landing page. So I'm going to hit close on that for right now. I'm going to leave this open because we're going to go back to it. So next, if you remember on the landing pages, you can pick a custom background. So when I put these in a really bad spot. We'll talk about these later. Huh? Oh, the flag too? Yeah. America. All right. We'll put this over here. We can do patriotic on the side of it. Hey, that's pretty good. That's good. Would have known. So this is a free hosting for photos. So this is a great place to put your images that you want to use for your custom backgrounds, because if you're going to do a landing page for a particular area, a particular purpose, it's good to have imagery that represents that demographic or that community. So I have a bunch of images for Orange because that's my community. The site is called IMGBB. You can access it at imgbb.com. Really easy to sign up. You just go to the site. You could log in through Facebook. You could log in through your Google account, and you don't have to fill anything out, and it lets you right in. If you want to get fancy, you can, put a picture for your profile, but you don't have to. But the process of uploading photos is really easy. This is the screen you get as soon as you log in. You just go to upload. You You can drag or paste images. Let's see, what do we have on this computer? Probably nothing. Okay, so just for instructional purposes, I'm going to download. Let's download this guy. Let's go upgraded internet. There we go. So I'm just going to save this so we can upload it just for the instructional value of it. Okay. So to upload, go to upload, browse from computer. There's also an app for this if you want to do it on your phone. It's also called IMDb. I'm going to double click on my image here. You can resize it and you just hit upload really fast. And then this is our link. So if you remember on the landing page, there's a link you have to input for a custom background image, and we'll go through that. But this is the link that we'll be using, this ibb.co, blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to leave that open because we're going to go back to that.
Can you just upload pictures directly to the landing page?
No.
Oh, that's why you use it.
That's what we have to use this
Okay.
step, unfortunately. It would be nice if we could.
I know, right?
I think that's on the list at some point, but you know, KV Core is a pretty big company, so
Okay.
they don't make changes really fast, but they eventually do.
Okay.
But in the interim, you know, you could put all your best pictures in here, and then you always have them available. So you could, you know, do the landing page, you know, on the fly pretty quickly. So now that we have our video set up, we have a link for that. We have our background image set up. Now we can go ahead and go build our landing page. So go into first place, my roadmap. Tools library. And then KV Core. So on the left-hand side, we're going to go to build landing page. It's under all lead engine tools. And here's our favorite landing page that if you make a mistake, you start all over again. So I say that not to discourage you, but just to save you the trouble of getting frustrated with it. That's also on the list of finding a way to not have it be so volatile, but we're still waiting on that. So first of all, you want to do, if we are doing one with the video, you're going to go up to lead generation, and we're going to choose video plus lead. That gives you the video window, and also it gives you a URL after login. So what happens is they'll hit the button on the bottom to capture the information, and then once they've entered their information, then it takes them to the market report page. So it gives them what they want, so they feel value in giving you hopefully a correct email address. Your tag here is for your own organization. So whenever you have a lead source for KV Core, you want to identify it. I'm going to call this one market report LP for landing page, and then I'm just going to call it Warren. Lead type, generally speaking, it's going to be a seller for market reports, but obviously buyers will take advantage of it. So you can set that at whatever your preference is. I'm going to choose seller. Right here, it says submit button test. So the default button on the bottom of the page is submit button. So I'm going to call it get your, if I can spell. I'm going to call it get your market report. And then as you can see, it changes it down here. Right here, we have YouTube ID. So if you remember, we're going to go back to our YouTube channel. And I'm going to click on get shareable link. And then I'm just going to paste it here. And then I'm going to grab the last section of it after the backspace. I'm going to cut on that. I'm going to go back to my landing page. Whoops. I'm going to paste my YouTube ID right here. If you've done it correctly, the video will change on the bottom of the page. Last is we need a URL after login. So I'm just going to do a generic market reports page. I will show you in KV Core, you can make a market report for a specific area, zip code, neighborhood, if you want to. So if you're being super hyper local, I'd advise on that. But for this practice, we're just going to use the generic market report that lets the end user choose what zip codes they want to be in. So that is always going to be, oops. First name, last name, firstteam.com/market reports, plural. Oh, you're right. Thank you for pointing that out. This 80-inch screen was too small for me to do that. There we go. So market dash report, you don't have to do the PHP, but you want to have market dash report and definitely spell first team right with two T's. So this is the link we're going to use here. So I'm going to copy this. We're going to go back over to our custom landing page. And I'm going to paste plain text. So it'll open up that page once they've entered in their information. You have a checkbox here where you could require phone. That's up to you. Some people are reticent about phone numbers because they don't want cold calls. So use that at your whim. And then now we go to our background. So we want to do a custom background. You don't have to. You do have all of these other choices. There's some really nice stock stuff here. Home value report, golf senior, land, garden shed. If you're doing a listing, you do primary MLS image, but we're going to choose custom background for this. And now we're going to go over to IMGBB, and we're going to grab this link here that has our background image that we're going to use. So I'm going to copy this, go back over to our landing page, click custom background again, and I'm going to paste into the section here, click OK. And it doesn't like that picture. So if that happens, go back over here and we'll pick a different one. If the photo isn't enough resolution or not the right size, it'll just turn blue. So if that happens, you just need to find a better picture. So once the site comes up, we'll go ahead and grab a different picture, get the link for that, and continue. I think someone in the office is watching Netflix. There we go. I think. I'm going to copy image address and see if it likes this one better. Custom background. Okay, it likes orange trees. So now we have our background set up, we have our video set up, we have our correct button set up. Now is the fun part, because this is where you want to be very focused. So my title for this is going to be Get Your Report. I'm going to click on the next line. So put whatever you feel comfortable with, but your call to action should be at the top line. And here you can make changes. Just be careful, because if you hit delete, it's going to wipe out each line. So I'm going to leave that there because it's all relative. So you can change these. You just click on them, copy over the text. Same thing here. So whatever you do change it to, just make sure that your call to actions are the top line and then your supporting statements underneath. Double check it, make sure everything looks good. If you're set here, go ahead and click save. It'll give you the warning. I'm going to click OK. And now my page is ready to go and it's live. I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to, if you have a notes program, you can use it. I'm going to do something very archaic and email it to myself. Now I have it, I can reuse it, I can set a bit.ly up to it, I could put a QR code for it, I can, it's ready to go forever and ever and ever. And then what happens is once they go to the landing page, they get this and it's like, give me your information. And then you can always test it. So let's go ahead and test our landing page. Get my market report. Now it's sent me here. It's already captured my information. It's okay. I like getting serenaded in the morning. That's good. That's good. All right. Oh, home prices went up. That's good. But that is your landing page. So the next step would be, do you want to set up a Facebook ad for it? So you would go ahead and take that link, which we'll do. I need to log into Facebook. Gotta love two-factor authentication. Facebook, let me in. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna go over to, go over to your business page next. And what page should we do? Let's be. So once this comes up, there we go. So we go over to our landing page, not that one. So this is why we save our link, because it's already gone over to the other page. Page. So I'm gonna copy link, go back over to Facebook, put my link in here. I don't know why it's not populating the picture. If you run into that issue, a quick and easy way to fix that would be to pull up the landing page itself. And then if you're on a computer, hit Control Print Screen to do a screenshot. Otherwise, on your phone, do a screenshot. This is a Windows computer, so I know it has paint. And then I'm going to reduce this a bit so I can see it. Wow, it's jumping. So I'm going to crop just the section that shows up because it makes Google and Facebook happy. Crop, save as. Save it under downloads. Save. Close this. Go back over to my Facebook post. I'm going to click the photo. Going to ignore me.
So crop, it doesn't matter, right? Like cropping the page, you can also crop, just use the shortcuts. As long as it's smaller, so that the.
Yeah, I just did that because I don't want to take a lot of time cropping it.
Oh.
If you have more time, I would just get it to the edge of the page that
Okay.
way, because there's lots of data that backs up if the page looks like what the destination is, people are more apt to trust it. And then also Google, Facebook, if they see that your photo matches the site that you're going to, you're going to get better SEO out of it.
Oh, nice. That's why you crop like the whole lens like this.
Right. Yeah,
Okay.
because you don't need the URL and all the other stuff. They don't need to see that you're 5,000 tabs open because you're doing a million different things.
Okay, that makes sense.
All right, so this is being a pain right now, so I'm going to start it. Let's try that again. Where is, I just want to post. Create post. Close that. I want to add. Oh, that's one. Okay. I'm going to pick that backdrop. So there's a couple different ways you could do this post. You can add the link and have it do the link preview, or you could just have the picture and in the text, you could put the link to the landing page. The only thing is that link is really long, so you'd have to use some sort of shortener to make sense of it. Bitly, bit.ly is a really good tool. It's free. It allows you to shorten URLs that look like that. And you can customize them. Like for instance, when I did an open house, the address was 6024 Luxor. So my bit.ly for that property page was bit.ly.6024 Luxor. Again, it's good for SEO and it's familiar to the end user, so they feel that they're clicking on something that is trustworthy versus first team FGQ565, you know, because they look like they're going to get launched in some sort of scam. Right. So up here, I'm going to go. You can't put, that's still uploading, like not even a big picture. Come on, Facebook, get it together. So I'm gonna. Just, I'll give you a quick little bit.ly lesson. I know we're getting short on time, but bit.ly, there's also an app for iPhone and Android. Log in. And log in as Google, which saves you a lot of trouble. And then right here, I'm going to go create. I'm going to paste my go away Firefox. I'm going to go back up here and copy my link. bit.ly, paste. I'm going to create. And then here, market report. Orange. Actually, it would make more sense if it was orange market report. And you can go back and edit these. These aren't like static QR codes or anything. So if you sell a property, you have a good code, you could reuse it for when you get the listing on that same street a week later. Tag for SEO and also for your own information. So if it's a particular market, you could add a tag to it, but that's really it. So now that we have a good shortened URL, we're going to go back to Facebook. I'm going to say, get your we have that done. I'm going to click post. Right here, you can add a send message button. So if you're constantly in Facebook Messenger, go ahead and do this. But if you don't use it, I would say not now, because Facebook will penalize you for not answering messages in a timely manner.
Oh.
So if you are going to use message buttons, be on top of it like you're getting a phone call. And then this is what it looks like. You see, I uploaded 2 pictures because it's dual monitor, so you want to be careful of that. And yeah,
Okay.
it's okay. And then I'm going to click, now I'm going to click boost post. Your button can be send message, or I'm going to do call now because I do answer my phone. And you need to do special ad category because it's housing. So I'm going to go down here, choose housing. What that does is it forces the radius to 15 miles around wherever you're at. You can't hone in. You can do custom audiences and some other things, but that's a little bit more work than just setting up the boost. And then like I said, I was working in LA last weekend, so it's set to Downey, but you would set this to whatever community that you're working in or the area that you're farming. And you just go down here and change your location. And then you can also do some detailed targeting. So if you wanted to deal with, income levels, or let's just say you're doing something on the coast, it'd be a good idea to put in, yachting, surfing, things like that. So capture that audience that's, tends to do those kind of things. Luxury property, you could put in things like, Bulgari, Aston Martin, things like that. And what'll happen is you'll get grouped up with ads for those luxury names.
Oh, nice.
So I'm not going to do that because I want to go and delete this ugly post before people see it and wonder what's going on with me. So I'm going to click cancel. 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 Confirm. And we're gonna go back, leave. Go post. And the ugly post has been deleted. Just as a side note, I kind of did the same thing here. I do this every week for a different area that I'm working in, but this is a call to action straight to the market report without the landing page because I don't have videos for all the different communities. And then here you can see I took a proper screenshot of the page and added it there. Because what happens is some of the landing pages, the preview goes to like some stock picture of a house that looks like it's from New England, and that just doesn't, doesn't jive with us out here in California. So you can always use a bit or use a URL shortener and add that to the text in the side, and then they'll click on it. They're gonna. I haven't seen any issues using that over using the native preview. So as far as a budget, it's up to you. You can play with it because it'll tell you how many people you could reach. So for an open house, if you're doing it 1 or 2 days, I would budget $30-40 if you want to really saturate the area, just because you have a big radius. And if you're doing something like what's my home worth in your farm, you could do something a little lower because you're going to spread it over maybe, let's say you did 30 days. If you budget $100, you're going to get a lot of clicks. And even though you may not get a lot of leads out of that until you've done it a couple of months, you will get a lot of traffic because they're going to click on it, look at it, and it'll be good for visibility because the more that they see you, the more apt they are to answer the door when you go door knocking, and more apt to look at your stuff that you send to them via email or in the post mail. But that's really the gist of it. The only other thing on here, it's just a recap, which we've done already, is if you are going to do advertising, you may want to consider meeting with Marla and buying phone numbers and email addresses from her in your farm, and then setting up email blasts with kind of the same message, and just offering your sites to help them determine, what the market is, and start a conversation about it. So, any questions, you guys? Okay. Well, we finished early today. Does anybody have? Well, let me show you my little signs that were blocking my face. So these are not templated anyways. These are done in Microsoft Word, but I have a little story behind them. Last year, I had to host an open house in San Clemente, which was not my area, the listing agent, not her area.
Okay.
And it was a $1.5 million neighborhood.
Okay.
Right when things opened up after COVID. So no flyers.
Oh.
So these are it's a Word document with QR code and a call to action. So one of these has a link to the AVM home value. The second one is market reports. So kind of what we did here, they scan it, goes right to market reports. The last one is the property page on my website for that property. So if even though you're hosting it for someone else, you want them to drive them to your website so you can capture the lead, because that's the whole reason they're there.
Yeah.
Two things happen. One, if they don't know how to do it, they don't have kids with them, because generally they'll be like, hey, hey, Junior, scan this. They'll say, well, I don't know how to do this. So then you just say, well, ma'am, what's your phone number?
Oh.
What's your name? I'll send this to you right now. Do you want to send you all of these? And then now you start a conversation with them.
Yeah.
At that listing, a neighbor came in, really abrupt, very straightforward neighbor. And she scanned it and she started kind of yelling at me. She's like, what the hell? Your house is listed for 1.3 and this shows the value of 900,000. What's going on? So then I turned it around and told her, well, ma'am, this is specifically why you need to sit down with an agent and look at the market. I go, this house has this upgrades, but, and then I had done the comps and the market reports for that area. So then we started a conversation about it. So long story short, she ended up buying the house.
Oh.
And then in that process, she had us go over to her house to potentially list it.
Yeah.
Same issue. She's like, well, this is saying my house is only worth, $1.5 million, and it's really worth $1.2 million. We're just like, well, again, let's look at your upgrades, because she had lots of upgrades. Really ugly upgrades, but lots of upgrades. Like they had a rock pool,
Oh,
but it was just like 90s rock pool, and yeah, lots of just, yeah. So we would have gotten the listing too, but unfortunately, towards the end of the conversation, she's like, well, I signed a listing agreement with my sister and I'm mad at her. And we're like, well, unfortunately, we can't help you because you have a listing contract with her. So
oh,
she ended up renting her house at it, she didn't sell it, and she bought the house,
okay,
but it was from these signs.
okay.
And then I was doing an open house Sunday in Downey. And we're the flyers, we're gonna have flyers. And everybody that didn't have the ability to scan it or have their kids do it, I captured their information. So I called them this week already and told them that we're gonna be out Sunday, and then we're calling it a price reduction. So again, it helps you keep in touch with them, capture the information. And it's literally just a Word document. If you'd like it, I can send it to you, but it's QR code, call to action, and your website and license number on the bottom. You can get these things at Staples, they're like $8 a piece.
Oh, okay. Nice. And you can put up in different
Yeah,
location of the house.
right. Kind of like, when you go to a model home, they have the smaller version you can get at a restaurant.
Mhm.
So what's kind of fun too, and we might start to do that in this market now that it's slowed down a little bit, is you can put the features of the house in these signs as well. You can like remodeled kitchen, solar,
Yeah,
brand new HVAC.
yeah,
So kind of the same thing, and then you could still have a QR code. You could just maybe make it a little smaller.
yeah, that makes sense. Kind of like the open model home flyer.
Yeah. Same thing. All right. Well, thank you guys.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Then did anyone have questions on downloading the teleprompter app or?
Oh, I'm not there that time, so can you help me with that?
Yeah, of course.
So it's just called Teleprompter?
Yeah, it's called Teleprompter. Let me go to that page. Teleprompter for video, and the icon will be black and orange. There's quite a few different ones.
Yeah, so this one's free?
It's free. Now, it does have limitations.
Okay,
So if you get really into it, maybe worth upgrading it, but
okay,
it allows you to do everything. So the only limitation really is your script can only have 250 characters. So you got to
that's
keep it.
really short.
It is short,
It is,
but the app isn't too expensive. So if you do use a lot of scripts and you want to do a lot of video, it's a real great way, especially if you have a tripod, because you can just set yourself up in a room with have some good lighting.
yeah,
And you could hammer out videos for everywhere that you're going to be working.
yeah, for sure. So this one, right?
Yes.
And then basically just.
Yes, yeah, you can log in on Facebook or Google and go ahead and run with it. I'm going to close this.
So we're just sweep on Teleprompter.